Yo, 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 what's up, everyone? How's it going today? If you're here watching in, tell me where you're from, where you're watching from. It's 3:30 p.m. here in Austin, Texas. Hey, what's up, everybody? Fasal, Donior, what's up? Debrat Dash, what's up, what's up, what's up? What part of the world y'all watching from today? What's up, David? The worst designer. Welcome, Renuja King. Hey, everybody. Let's talk tech. Let's talk code. 1:30 a.m. in Pakistan. What's up, Ili Riyan Tatsi? Ege Berke. That looks like no, I don't know what flag that is actually. Diego, what's up? Ashke, Kosovo, Europe. Hey, everybody. Itachi Uchiha. Accidentally clicked on this vid, but I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, thank you, accidental viewer from Knoxville, Tennessee. Today we're going to talk about Odin project. Today we're going to talk about what I learned when I created my 7-figure app agency, my app freelancing agency years ago before DevSlopes. What's up, everybody? 2 a.m. in India. I don't know what Odin project is. You have to remind me. Turkey. That's a Turkey flag, right? India. Hey, what's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? Yeah, we're going to talk about just my freelancing business, how I got it started, some techniques and tips that I use, some things that you could use, some things to do, some things not to do, and everything in between. Algeria, welcome. Hey, what's up, Dark Slayer, Nepal? Hey, Holes, how are you? I'm doing well. It's a good day. Actually, I've been really stoked. I'm launching really soon a 30-day code challenge. Anyone can do it. It's 30 days of intensive coding and coaching. You get in, and every day new content's unlocked for 30 days. Boom. This first one's all JavaScript. So you're gonna learn JavaScript. No HTML, no CSS, pure JavaScript, data structures, algorithms from beginner. It gets harder and harder. Coding challenges, exercises. That is dropping soon. So I've been working on that, really excited about that. If you want to get notified about the 30-day code challenge, which is coming out in a few days, just go to devslopes.com, scroll to the bottom, and an email thing will pop up, and put your email in there. 30 days of code challenge. Don't worry, Rick, I'm going to be doing one for iOS once this one's done for Swift. So you don't need any programming knowledge for this. It'll be from absolute zero, but it will get hard. It'll get harder and harder. I anticipate that most people will drop off around day 15 or so, 16. You know, that's typically when people start giving up and quitting. Like, you get the coaching and all that, but the people who get to the end, like, you're going to learn so much stuff. And it's a challenge. It's a mental challenge. Can you code for 30 days straight? And I give you exercises every single day that you submit every single day. 30 days of code challenge. And it's going to rock your world, all in JavaScript. So no HTML, no CSS, which I'm really excited about. Pure JS. So yeah, that's coming out soon. You're going to learn JSON? No, I'm not teaching JSON. It's all JavaScript. Boom. Release and watch a video about full stack developer. Welcome. Yeah, thanks. Okay. Dracula from Transylvania. Nice. Irvine, California. What framework did you build your company website on? Okay, I'm going to talk about that for a second. So DevSlopes website's built with React, and it's a terrible decision, actually. It's been a terrible decision. We're rebuilding the whole thing right now in Next.js, which is React, but it's not running React live. It's running a static web page live. When you have a marketing website, like a front-end marketing website, React is the worst choice. A single 8-page application has terrible SEO. Not only that, working with iframes and common videos and scripts and things is a nightmare. Imagine you have to put all these marketing scripts and email systems into your website. Doing it with React is a complete nightmare. Yeah, we work everything out, but it's a nightmare. The Google page speeds are low. Like, React and Angular should be used for building web apps that need to think and do things. Like, you log in and you need to do something. front-end marketing-faced websites do not need to be built in React. It is the worst decision, and we're really feeling the pain of that. So we're rebuilding everything as a static website with Next.js. So with Next, you build it in React at build time, not at runtime. And then it compiles it all into static JS, and it's super fast. So all your SEO and all your systems and your blogs are easy to do and everything like that. Using React for a marketing website was a terrible decision. And I never thought about that because we always used React in the past for regular apps, but in retrospect, it's not good for things that you need to be found on the internet and working with iframes and things like that. Any advice on how to improve logic? Yeah, lots of coding projects. Lots of coding projects and challenges, just like the JavaScript 30-day challenge. David, you're asking me, is this something that DevSlop students should do? Absolutely. If you're in the Web Academy, you should do this just for fun to really push your skills, because it's 30 days of forced learning. Boom, 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 one after the other, after the other, after the other, purely on JavaScript. It's a bunch of coding challenges. You don't have to do it, but it surely will help you. Okay, just use a bit of React for components you'll reuse. Yeah, like I said, we're using Next.js now. Next.js lets us build our website in React, like the actual developer tools. But at runtime, it's not a single page application. It's all static pages. So to answer your question, Skate Trippy, you can still use all your components to build out a beautiful website with React and reusable components. But at build time, it's going to just take all that stuff and compile it into pure JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Okay, so that's what it's going to do with all of your stuff. It's just going to compile it so it's static. So my website, right? I don't need lots of operations to be performed I don't need things to change on the front end. Does that make sense? Like if you go log in to an account somewhere, let's just say like a learning portal, like at DevSlopes we have a learning portal. You buy courses or you enroll in DevSlopes Academy and new content comes, and like maybe there's authentication where you shouldn't access some content, you should access other content. There's lots of thinking that has to happen. That's a good use case for React, because you can do all of that amazing programming and logic with React. All the logic, but right, you're logged in. You have to be logged in. It's content that changes. DevSlop's website's all static content. Nothing needs to change. In fact, I need it not to change. So it needs just to be all static. So that's what's going on. I haven't got to my subject of the video yet today here. Where were you yesterday? It was my daughter's birthday. So there'll be lots of days when I'm not around. So don't worry. I know PHP. What should I do? I don't know. Okay. Hey. All right. Let's see. Do we need programming knowledge for it? Yeah. Not for the 30-day code challenge that we're doing. Does this teach JS or just challenges? It's going to teach the JavaScript, and it's going to give challenges. Do you have a Discord? Yeah, we have a Discord. We have a general open Discord you can join. I don't have the link. The subject for today's video is what I learned creating my 7-figure app agency, and I should get to that here. Besides mentoring, what's the difference between Udemy course and Academy program for web development? Okay, DevSlopes Academy, for those of you who don't know, is my coaching program. So we train you, then we coach you to success. So a lot of people ask me this question. Here's what you get with an online course, like on Udemy. You get video content, maybe a couple exercises, that's it. Okay? For the extra motivated people who don't need help, who don't need anything at all, who don't need motivation, who can just do it all on their own and go get their job, you know what? That works for you. For everybody else, which is almost everybody, who's going to help you when you get stuck with your code? Who's going to tell you if your code is correct or not? Who's going to tell you how close you are to being able to apply for jobs? Who's actually going to help you get a job, help you land the interviews, go through your coding interviews? Who's going to push you when you're not feeling motivated, you don't feel like doing anything? Who's going to give you projects to work on every single day? Who's going to give you coding challenges to work on? Who's going to grade your assignment? If you're on a Udemy course, no one's grading your assignments. So what about having a professional developer actually look at your code and say, hey, this is what you need to change. This is what you need to do to get a job, looking at your resume, your portfolio, giving you a capstone project, giving you everything you need, creating a curriculum that has everything so you don't even have to think to get your job or to become a freelancer. That's what DevSlopes Academy is. So yeah, we've got videos just like Udemy courses. We also have reading, but most importantly, we've got coaching and coding projects and graded projects and weekly live meetups with live Q&As and a whole bunch of other things like that. I know we haven't got here yet, but for those of you who do want coaching and would like to work with me one-on-one, you can do that at devslopes.com/apply. You can schedule a free call. We'll plan a career path for you. So yeah. Yeah. Do you have a Discord? I do have a Discord. If somebody has my Discord link, you can post it here. I don't have Discord open. Yeah, on my website for the 30-day coding challenge, just go to devslopes.com, scroll down, and a pop-up will appear. If it doesn't appear, just go to incognito window, it'll appear. Okay, I do need to cover my subject here. Okay, so what I learned creating a 7-figure app agency. 7 figures is $1 million or more. So I stumbled into the world of freelancing. Somebody asked me to build them a project, or take a step back. I built a project, I wrote some code, and then a competing company said, hey, oh my gosh, I want that. Can you build that for me? I built it for the company I was working for. I was not a programmer at the time, but I learned to code. And then I built this project for this company for like $25,000. And I was like, okay, I can do this for a job. And so long story short, I created an agency, a company where people, remember, this is the beginning of the App Store days when like everyone wanted an app. And I mean, that's still still very in demand. So what happened was I was like, okay, I needed clients. And yeah, there was a company, a website like Upwork called Odesk at the time. But that wasn't my type of business. So I was like, well, how do I get clients? So what I did was I created a lead capture form, just a little website, sales funnel is what it's called, where it would give information about what I can do, what we do as a company, and they put in their name and their phone number and what kind of app or product they needed to have built. Then I would call them and I would tell them what we can do, and we'd close the deal. We'd come up with a price, we'd give an estimate and close the deal. You know, anywhere between $15,000 to $300,000 for a project. And that app agency in its first year did $1 million, over $1 million, which was great. Now that's not $1 million in profit, keep in mind. That's just $1 million in revenue. But the core business, the core sales model was we turn on Google Ads. We send people who are looking to, like, you know, if you type in Google like app development or app developer, hire app developer, you just target those keywords, and then people would come to our landing page, they'd fill it out, and then we'd get on the phone, and you know, we would close about 20% of the deals, and then we build the products and the apps for them. And you can still do that to this day. Now, I recommend people start off locally in their local region because the costs will be way cheaper. You know, so like if I was here in Austin, I was going to start over again today doing this. I would, on my targeting on Google, I would say Austin App Development Agency, you know, or whatever, web development agency, but just app development agency, so they can know I'm local. If you're local, you can build more trust. And then I would do the same thing. I'd have a lead capture. I would show some of my previous works on the website, and then I would get on the phone and I would close deals. Now, that was my model, and it was a 7-figure agency. But there are challenges. So there's challenges with building out a freelancing agency. Okay. So first off, there's the approach of I'm an individual freelancer and I write all the code myself. And you only take on whatever projects you can personally code. I had stars in my eyes, and I wanted to build it all. We're talking about how I built my first 7-figure app agency, app consulting, programming consulting. So as a freelancer, you can do it all on your own, or you can build an agency. And so I went straight to the agency route. Yeah, I built a couple projects solo, but then I went straight to the agency route. And so the first couple projects in the agency, yeah, I coded pretty much all myself. But then I wanted more. I got really good with the ads, right? Really good with the marketing and closing the deals. And so we would close 3 or 4 projects at a time. And then I had this problem. It's like, well, I got to find more developers. So I had another local developer, but I couldn't find enough developers for all of the time I had. So I had to start interviewing and bringing on developers from around the world. I tried developers, but anything I say here is not meant to be offensive. I'm just telling you how it worked out. I hired developers from India. I hired developers from China. I hired developers from Poland. I hired developers from Russia and from Ukraine and a couple other countries. I ran into lots of problems. In fact, the best developers I ever hired always came from Poland and Ukraine. The Poland and Ukraine developers always delivered on time, always gave me what I wanted. The other other developers, remember, I was just hiring random people. They would always not deliver on time, and they would always make excuses, and it was very, very difficult to find trusted partners. I finally, after wasting thousands of dollars and having lots of heartache, I found some very trusted developers in Poland and in Ukraine who just did amazing work for us, that I could rely on. I had one. I'm just telling you some of the ups and downs I had. I had not one. I had 2 development agencies in India. They ran all the budget and didn't finish, and they said, "Sorry, Mark, we underestimated budget. Please pay more." And I said, "I don't have more to pay. You've just spent the whole budget." And they said, "Please pay more, or we will release this source code to the world." I was like, really? And being in the United States, I can't enforce that. I can't even do anything about it. So I had to pay them more money. I was literally being held hostage. I was being blackmailed more or less by an app development agency in India. 2 app development agencies in India did this to me, which is really interesting, right? So if you are hiring developers in a country that's not your own, you can have a lot of trouble enforcing things. And so, we eventually improved. Maybe we started paying on a weekly basis. And if any signs of bad things were happening, we could quickly cut ties. And, now we have things like Upwork where there's escrow and stuff, which is nice. So I had to quickly scale and grow the company. And then I had to start managing projects in addition to overseeing code. The thing about when you outsource development to not any countries, just other developers, you have to be intimately acquainted with the code. You got to know what's going on. You cannot ever just hand off your project to a different team and say, "Do this for me." It will always turn out bad every single time, no matter what. It will always turn out bad. You have to work closely with them like a partner. You're the boss, you're the CTO, you look at their code, you make sure it's up to standards, you help them make decisions. You do not just hand off your project to another agency. I did that in the beginning, and every single time it turned out into a nightmare. And then when I started managing the projects more closely as a CTO, looking at code, making sure they're delivering on time, things got a little bit better. So your costs, the thing about an app development agency or a software agency is if you want to scale your company, scale your revenue, the costs are going to scale, and your overhead for your employees, or just your employees, are going to scale as well too. Because this is a done-for-you type of service. You're paying humans to do things for you. So, if your profit margin is 10% and you've got, 10 employees, if you wanted to, let's say, double that, you might have to have 20 employees, and it becomes a really big nightmare. So, yes, you can make $1 million or more a year easily, well, not easily, but with effort, being an agency. But you have to keep your profit in mind. Like, scaling is not super easy. You don't just say, "I'm going to bring on 10 clients." That's the easy part. If you bring on 10 clients, what is that? 10 project managers? Is that 50 developers? 50 deadlines? How does, or 10 deadlines? How does that all work? So this is just some of the travails and situations in growing an app agency. I got the chance to do some really cool projects though. I worked on projects for like the Yellow Pages here in the United States and some other big companies, which I can't remember off the cuff here. But you get to do some really cool things, especially if you like do it through the Google Ads, because companies will reach out to you versus like Upwork, which you don't typically see big names on Upwork like hiring developers. But anyway, um, some really cool things there. I always recommend that people start as a solo freelancer. I recommend that you slowly build up your team with trusted people. Don't just outsource a bunch of projects to people you don't know, because you're going to go through all those same problems I went through. You need trusted people at the end of the day. Find a partner, and if you do like hire somebody in a different country, fly to that country. Like if I was going to do this again and I needed some developers in Poland or Russia, I would fly out there. Maybe I'd even open an office there, and I would work with them closely. You want to be the app development aid. You want to be a partner when you're building apps and software and products. A partner to your client and a partner with your developers. It can't. There's no such thing as here. We close the deal, hand it off to the developer, give it back. It'll never work out that way. Never, 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 never. Where was I yesterday? Guy Godot, you're asking me. Yeah, it was my daughter's birthday, so I wasn't around. Let's see here. How can I grow my web development YouTube channel? Literally just post videos regularly. I made this mistake of taking a break for a year. Our momentum went way down. Now that we're doing it all the time, every day, it's going way up. So just post every single week and it'll grow naturally. Have you thought about getting freelance jobs and letting your students do them? Yes, Rick. Someone, actually Andre, one of our students, he just brought this up yesterday. This is a conversation I have all the time. Not only that, Rick, I had a company approach me just last week who wants to hire DevSlopes to build something. Here's the problem I have right now, is every single project requires back-end work, and our back-end developer program academy is not up yet. So 99% of my students in the academies, iOS Academy, Android Academy, Web Academy, those are all front-end skills. Nobody has back-end skills. So this becomes more of a reality once I get the back-end program in. I get some really talented API developers and database developers. Then what I can do is I can start introducing projects for clients and students where we manage them, and we handle all the risk, and they get projects at a more affordable rate, but they get solid things, and you guys get skills on your project. That becomes a real reality. We're absolutely going to do that, but I have to have the full suite of tools. We can't do it without back-end developers. Every project needs an API. Happy birthday for her. Thanks. Is it too late to start freelancing since the market looks full? No, the market's not full. The market is just full of crummy freelancers. The market is not saturated. There's so much work that needs to be done. You get out there, you do a great job. Show your face. Get on video. That's the big mistake people make. They just send out applications and expect to get a job. It's not saturated. It's just saturated with crummy developers. Show your face. Be outstanding. Pick a niche that you want to focus on in your technology realm, and just be amazing, and you'll do fine. I started learning React Native. Should I keep learning and using it? If you want to build cross-platform mobile apps, I mean, you're not going to get a job doing React Native or anything, but you could do freelance work with it. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, Rick, I would really like to bring on students to do contract work for projects, because some of the students are just so talented, so good, and I can identify that pretty easily, and I could pull them on a project. But we need a whole team to do that. So, yeah. And the other thing I wanted to do is like have actually students have resumes on the website who pass certain skills tests, that they can just be hired directly straight from the school. That's another thing that is on my mind. So, hi from Nigeria. Yo, what's up? Love you so much. You too, Mohammed. Any advice for self-maintaining node projects for when you finish for a client? Self-maintaining. I'm not sure what you're asking, but what I recommend is like having a maintenance fee, if you can, a maintenance package for your clients on a monthly basis. $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever. I recommend doing something like that. 6 months maintenance package or close a year maintenance package. Do you recommend reading books on process of learning something new, like a language or a concept? I mean, a book's a good start. Um, like dev dependencies, I'll come back to you, Kusi. Like dev dependencies, updating the server, etc. Oh, so if you're building out any project with like external modules, first off, I always recommend, actually this is important. I need to teach this more. If you have a project with external dependencies, what you need to do is put the specific version of the dependencies in your node modules. Don't just point it to the latest version. That's the worst thing to do. Stick it on a specific version, okay? Because what's going to happen, and it always happens, is something updates and something breaks, and your clients will come to you. Like, let's say your client's updating the server and somebody just did npm install and went and got the latest versions. Now nothing works. They're going to be calling you. Put specific versions of every module that you use inside of your project, and then that way it's pointed to a version that's not going to break. And then if they want to update it, they can pay you more for that. Do you recommend reading books in the process of learning something new, like a language or a concept? So that's what I was saying. So I do read books sometimes. Like right now, I'm learning Japanese, and there's so much content, it's overwhelming. So many courses, right? So what I've done, and I'm doing this with my kids, I've actually broken it out into days, just like I do at the DevSlopes Academy. We need a DevSlopes Academy for everything, but I've broken it out into days. I go into the book and I actually print up lessons every single day. I put a paper clip on it, and here's the lesson for today. I cannot stress how important this is. If you want to learn quickly, you need to have a lesson plan. You need to be broken out. You need to have your days broken out for it. You need to have projects, just like the DevSlopes Academy, the same thing I'm doing with Japanese. So every single day we do the learning content. I printed it out. Then we write down like the hiragana, and basically we then have a project at the end of each day where we actually have to do it, like memorization and stuff, like what is this symbol, what does it mean, and so it is so critical to have lesson plans broken out, and it's very hard to do that on your own. How to break into the freelance market, especially for someone from a second world country. Yeah, so first off, that second world country doesn't matter. I've seen developers, for instance, in India making over $100,000 a year. You need to, first off, write this down, Zafar, Mustafa. You need to go to the DevSlopes podcast and search freelancing. I've got a podcast episode on this, DevSlopes podcast freelancing, tell you how to do this. Real quick, show your face, don't be anonymous. Send videos to the jobs you apply for on Upwork.com. Upwork.com, send videos to the jobs you apply for. Present yourself, be professional, add lots of value. Stand above the rest. Any advice for newbie developer? I kind of just talked about it. Get a lesson plan, like a curriculum, have a path, find a coach, someone who can help you. Yeah. Rick Martinez, what CocoaPods do you like and dislike? So the longer I write code, Rick, the more I try not to use dependencies unless I have to at the end of the day. Like I used to be all about, for instance, Alamo Fire, but I'll never use it again. I'd rather just use URL session and keep the code in-house. I try to use the least amount of frameworks as possible. So do I have any favorite CocoaPods? I really don't know. I try not to use them if at all possible. And I only use the big named ones that have like thousands of stars that are well tested. What way do you suggest to represent back-end game dev with C++ and UE4, making a full game before applying? Ali, it's really hard, man. I'll be honest with you. You should watch my YouTube video on C++. I talk about this. I have a recent YouTube video on C++, but I was an engineer for over 10 years, and I've been programming in C++ for over a year, and I couldn't even get a job as a C++ developer with 10 years experience. Okay? They said, you need to be an expert at C++. Well, I said I'm an expert at object-oriented programming, and I have a year with C++. I can do what you need. And I applied to literally like 10 jobs, and they all told me no. It is so incredibly difficult to get a junior programming job in C++ for games. So my best advice to you is you better be a freaking expert. Become an expert at UE4 and an expert at C++, like expert level, and then start applying. That was my experience. And by the way, I worked on Call of Duty Ghosts, just so you know. I worked there with Unity and C#. It wasn't C++, but I'm just saying, you know, I mean, I've been in that industry. I've been there. You need to be an expert at C++. They really don't, they won't work with people who aren't experts. I like programming, but I take too much time to solve problems, and I tend to forget a lot of information. Any advice? It's just, you're probably perfect for programming. Lots of programmers take long times to solve problems. My advice to you is stop worrying about stuff like that. Stop labeling yourself. Stop putting yourself in a bucket. Yeah. How to find a coach in Swift UI? I mean, the best free options are go to meetup.com, find a local developer group in your area, meetup.com. Reach out on Twitter to people. Some influencers have chat rooms. I don't know, but like there's those people on YouTube, you know, like Code with Chris, Sean Allen. They probably have chat rooms or something. Those are good places. At DevSlips Academy, we coach our students. We're career focused. We help you get a job or get freelancing projects, but we're a paid system. If you want guaranteed results and success, and work with iOS developers, you can join the DevSlips Academy. Just go to devslips.com/apply, and we can tell you all about it, pricing and things like that. What should I master for junior iOS developer job? Programmatic UI or storyboard UI? I would learn both. You learn storyboards first, though. I found that it's like the job market is like 65% storyboards and like, what is that, 35% to programmatic. That's been my experience. Let's collaborate and talk about how coding solves developing county problems. Have you ever tried Golang? I have tried it. Do I like it? Well, it's cool. Like you don't want to compare it to like JavaScript or Python because that's not what it's for, right? Like the reason why we use Golang is because it's super fast. You can use it on the server side stuff, and it's super, super fast. And it's replacing, like a lot of people are moving from C++ to Go, or a lot of people are moving from C++ to Elixir, and it's because they're super, super fast. So you can do cool embedded systems and server-side stuff very, very fast when the millions of requests are on the line. So it's really awesome in that regard because it's way easier to use than C++. But don't compare it to like scripting languages because you wouldn't use them for the same things you use scripting languages for. I laid off today. It's my last working day. Give me advice going for below average job or two. Take a month off and be better. Create portfolio, then look out for a job. 6 months experience SAP. I don't know. You got to have the skills to pay the bills, right? That's a good question. For me, education's hard to quantify. Like, am I going to be ready if I just study this long? I mean, so myself personally, I'd be applying for the job that I want, even though I don't have the skills, and then I'd be learning at the same time. Your podcasts are amazing. Keep it up. Hey, thanks. How do you keep yourself updated with latest tech happenings? I don't. I mean, that's not completely true. I do not spend any time researching it. What I do is I just follow what is being used, what's trending, what's popular. I don't, like when new stuff comes out, even when iOS launches new stuff, I don't go and read about it. I just wait till it becomes more mainstream because new technologies, they take years to get adopted and to be widespread. So when people come to me like, oh my gosh, is JavaScript going to be replaced by Go language and all this stuff? I'm like, no, just relax, everything's fine. So I follow big trends, but I don't go into the details. My goal is to focus on core technologies personally that help people get jobs. So would you recommend to use Golang as a backend or Node.js if you already use JavaScript? No. I would not recommend Go unless you have a need, unless let's say your server's bottlenecked and it's going too slow, you're performing operations and you're recording millions of requests and it's just too slow. If you're at that level, yeah, get out of JavaScript, do something else. But if you're not at that level, there's no reason to move over to Go. Interested in JS. Which framework or language to choose from to make a web app quickly? Ruby on Rails, Go, or JS? Well, Ruby on Rails will give you the API framework, so that'll help you make a web app the quickest of those three options there. Why do you think people quit programming even if they pay for mentorship? I mean, well, Rick, you should know. I mean, you have your ups and downs, right? Like coding's hard sometimes. Life gets in the way. So it can be a tough thing. Like, here's the thing, Rick. I've even thought about like on DevSlopes Academy, putting a 6 to 8 month cap where in the DevSlopes Academy, you only have 8 months to do it. And after that, it's cut off. Because what happens is a lot of people, they need that push. They need to be forced to do things. But here's the reality, Rick. I taught at a boot camp where people paid $25,000 to be at that boot camp, and you can't get a refund, and they would quit midway through. This is an in-person boot camp. They would quit midway through. So at the end of the day, it's not like just about the learning program. Like, people sometimes just let life get in the way. They lose sight of the vision. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like the tunnel goes dark for them. With the DevSlopes Academy, one of the benefits of having the lifetime access that we give is some of those people who do follow along the way, we're there for you. And so I've had people like come back like a year later and like are now finishing it because they had things happen in their life and they were very grateful for that, although it's taken them longer. So, it's just it's humans, right? It's just humans. You can't force people to do things. Will Wix take the place of web development? No, web development's always going to be there. This is where you can get in touch with you, general advice and stuff. Just these live streams, or if you want to pay for coaching, you can join the DevSlopes Academy. It's a 16-week program. That's devslopes.com/apply. 16-week program where I will work with you one-on-one and my team, and we will train you and coach you and grade your assignments and give you real programmer feedback, and we will help you apply for jobs. We will help look at your resume. We will help you with your job interviews. We'll do all of that until you have success. All you have to do is apply for a free 30-minute call where we can go over your career options. Talk about the DevSlopes Academy. Best place to find a remote job is Indian person with little to no experience. Upwork.com. Just get started. Take on some cheap projects. Best tech stack for full stack. These are so many questions. There's no best tech stack. Just depends on the need. Java. I always preach HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React because there's so many jobs in that. I mean, but there's other stacks too. You could learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. There's lots of options. So I'm in high school. So is DevSlopes more find a job now or learn the basics to advance? So most people who go into the academy are looking for work, but we have at least 15% of our students who are either wanting to build an app or a product or just wanting to learn with a structured curriculum. So we have all kinds of people in there. So it's useful for everybody. What is the easiest backend with the database for us front-end focused people looking to deploy SaaS solution to production fast and easy? Okay. Well, Josh, it just depends. It really just depends. If you're building your own app, like for a startup or prototype, or you want to do something for a client, you could literally do Firebase. It'll do your whole backend for you, and you don't even have to learn a new programming language. So they have Firebase for iOS, Firebase for Android, Firebase for web, and you just use their SDKs, and you've got a full-scale backend. That is you said fastest, that is the absolute fastest way. Outside of that, Python and Flask or Node and Express are very fast ways to have a backend using Mongo database. You'd have to learn JavaScript or Python if you don't know those already. Some good project ideas to showcase in your portfolio. Real apps, like ones that are on the app stores, or like big products like Airbnb, like something big and meaningful that shows advanced skills and definitely has to talk to an API For sure. Yep, for sure, for sure, for sure. Thoughts about RX Swift? Yeah, don't use it. It's no point in using it. Use Swift UI and Combine, or just the Combine framework. Combine will do everything you need. You don't need Swift RX Swift anymore. Combine is a new declarative way, reactive way to program. So, yep. Let's see here. I got to wrap it up here real soon, but I wanted to show you something. Where are we here? Yeah, we're going to wrap it up in just a moment. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen real quick here. Some of you may or may not know that I have a Kickstarter going on for me personally, Mark Welbeck. I wrote a book. It's called The Last Hacker. The Last Hacker. $21,382 funded. It's going strong. There's only a few days left. Just search on Kickstarter for this campaign. But what's really cool is I did a deal with DevSlopes where you can get coding courses in it. So you can get 4 coding courses. I'll show you here, 4 coding courses right here, and my book for free. So $1,200 of coding courses and my book for free for like $47. And if you want to swap out the courses, you can click the link here and swap out the courses. But this is my Kickstarter for my personal book. It's a novel, a sci-fi novel, super cool. Just go to Kickstarter and search for The Last Hacker. If you want to support me, this would be awesome. You get a signed copy of the book as well. That's just go and search for The Last Hacker on Kickstarter, and that would be like super cool. So, boom, I just posted a link there. But anyway, thanks everybody for chatting today. Apply for DevSlopes Academy. Remember, the 30-day JavaScript coding challenge is coming up soon. You can get that on if you go to DevSlopes website, scroll to the bottom. Just a general email form pop-up. Put your email in there if you want to join the 30-day code challenge. And then check out my Kickstarter, The Last Hacker on Kickstarter. So I put the link here in the chat. Thanks, everybody. And we'll chat again.